Hello friends and my lovely viewers. Welcome back to the channel of prettiness. Today we will head for the level 40 co-op dungeon of Throne and Liberty. I will share my very own tips and tricks of how to pass this dungeon flawlessly. Let's get started.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. I'm tired of shit.
To be expected, this dungeon has stronger enemies and even more mechanics than the lower level co-op dungeons. Thus, a competent team is super important to quickly and successfully clear the entire dungeon. Starting off, we are slaughtering a bunch of mutant ants. We don't need to concern ourselves too much with the worker and acid ant. But beware of the mutant explosive ant that appears a little bit later. If we don't keep our distance, we may be blown to pieces. So yes, there is a chance of dying instantly by this single little mishap, depending on the amount of health, and depending on how lucky or unlucky we are. Further ahead, we can already take a seat next to the fireplace. So if you had half of your health blown off like me, there's no need to worry much. In the next room, we will find different types of mutant ant larvae. After we kill them all once, more larvae will spawn, and after we kill them again, a gigantic angry princess ant will emerge for revenge. So, this ant is a mini-boss, and she doesn't use that many effects or mechanics to be honest. I personally have not experienced any fatal attacks coming from her. So, I don't consider her to be a big problem in this dungeon or too challenging, which makes this part a smooth sailing. We have to deal with one more room before we face the final boss. And this room is kinda similar, as we have to destroy poison sacs once again. But it is also different in a way. After destroying the sacs, we are introduced to the mutant ants again, which also includes the explosive type of ant. And that is, in my opinion, the most deadly one. So we should try our very best to not get blown up by keeping distance from it. I think being a short-range DPS may cause challenges with the explosive ant, so yeah, it is definitely overall quite challenging. A giant acid ant egg will spawn in the center of this room when we have killed everything. This is the moment we forget everything, and focus on killing the ants that are attached to the egg by this red line we can see here. Even though multiple other ants are spawning meanwhile, it is not a priority to kill them. Because, as soon as the red line ants and giant egg have been destroyed, those ants will stop spawning. So, kill the 3 red line ants, and then destroy the giant egg. But, beware. We are basically freeing a giant acid ant from the eggshell. And this will be the final mini-boss we have to deal with. It doesn't have any significant mechanics, so it shouldn't be very difficult to beat with a decent team, of course. The death of this ant gives us access to the boss chamber room. On the way, we have a fireplace to help us regain our health and mana if need be. And this also becomes the resurrection area if we die in the boss fight. Once again, like I always mention in these co-op dungeon videos I make, we have to wait for everyone to enter the boss room before we attack the boss or start the battle in some way or another. Because the boss room becomes sealed off the moment we start. And it absolutely sucks being left out in the resurrection area with an inability to join the battle. So yeah. That's that. To call upon the great boss ant, we provoke it by destroying its eggshells. There is one eggshell on top of every rock, and these are very fragile and easy to break, thankfully. This boss can actually be pretty difficult to beat if we do not know the mechanics. I myself have experienced countless of failed attempts, and I really do not want you to struggle as much as I did. The basics are simple though. If you are a long-range attacker, keep a distance from the boss, and try positioning yourself behind the boss or on either sides of the boss. If you happen to be a short-range type of DPS, you can also choose to stay behind the boss or on either sides of the boss. But be extra careful not to disturb the tank of the team by getting too close to him or her. The warning signs of the ultimate mechanic can be pretty hard to detect. The first time, he will talk gibberish, launch a green poison-looking substance at us, and then start pulsing a red AoE. And this is usually the moment when we start to panic and run up the stone hill or hesitate by running back and forth. But it is too soon for us to run, and I don't think a lot of people have realized that yet. The thing is, when we run away too early, there would be no one left to share the damage the boss is about to deal. Which means, the tank would have a much higher chance of dying. In this case we were only 3 people to take the final blow, which is not particularly a good thing. And by the way, this boss chamber has a much quicker and safer way of escaping the ultimate mechanic. This rising stone pillar is the go-to spot after we get launched in the air by the final hit from the boss. So it can be a great plan if everyone, including the tank, positions themselves close to the pillar while fighting. That is basically the trick of surviving the mechanic. And if you consider yourself too squishy to share the damage, or if you are the healer of the team, I highly suggest you go directly for the pillar. Also, if you simply do not feel confident enough, then just run for the hills instead. Anyways, the mechanic is not over yet. We have to fly from stone hill to find and kill the gem ant. Only then will the boss come down and we will stop losing health. It is very important to not get too relaxed after this mayhem. If we are not quick to finish off the boss, we may end up with a second round of this ultimate mechanic. And that is exactly what I'm about to experience here. Too many of our teammates got knocked out, and we did not have enough DPS power to make it in time. This is also a great moment to note how unpredictable the warning signs of his ultimate mechanic truly is. So yeah. Anyways, this is everything I had to say for today's video. I hope my advices will help you clear this dungeon. Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel for more contents like this. And do comment below if you have any questions. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Stay foxy, adios, bye.